I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. Read by Emilia Fox. March. I write this sitting in the kitchen sink. That is, my feet are in it. The rest of me is on the draining board, which I have padded with our dog's blanket and the tea cosy. I have found that sitting in a place where you have never sat before can be inspiring. I wrote my very best poem while sitting on the hen house. The view through the windows above the sink is excessively drear. Beyond the dank garden in the courtyard are the ruined walls on the edge of the moat. Beyond the moat, the boggy ploughed fields stretch to the leaden sky. It is comforting to look away from the windows and towards the kitchen fire, near which my sister Rose is ironing. Rose looks particularly fetching by firelight because she is a pinkish person. Her skin has a pink glow, and her hair is pinkish gold, very light and feathery. Although I am rather used to her, I know she is a beauty. She is nearly 21 and very bitter with life. I am 17, look younger, feel older. I am no beauty, but I have a neatish face. I am writing this journal partly to practice my newly acquired speed writing and partly to teach myself how to write a novel. I wish I knew a way how to make words flow out of Father. Years and years ago, he wrote a very unusual book called Jacob Wrestling, a mixture of fiction, philosophy and poetry. It had a great success, particularly in America, where he made a lot of money by lecturing on it, and he seemed likely to become a very important writer indeed. But he stopped writing. Mother believed this was due to something that happened when I was about 5. We were living in a small house by the sea at the time. Father had just joined us after his second American lecture tour. One afternoon, when we were having tea in the garden, he had the misfortune to lose his temper with Mother very noisily, just as he was about to cut a piece of cake. He brandished the cake knife at her so menacingly that an officious neighbour jumped the garden fence to intervene and got himself knocked down. Father explained in court that killing a woman with our silver cake knife would be a long, weary business, entailing sawing her to death, and he was completely exonerated of any intention of slaying Mother. The whole case seems to have been quite ludicrous, with everyone but the neighbour being very funny. But Father made the mistake of being funnier than the judge, and, as there was no doubt whatever that he had seriously damaged the neighbour, he was sent to prison for 3 months. When he came out, he was as nice a man as ever. Nicer because his temper was so much better. But Rose remembers that he had already begun to get unsociable. It was then that he took a 40 years lease of the castle, which is an admirable place to be unsociable in. Mother died 8 years ago, from perfectly natural causes. I think she must have been a shadowy person, because I have only the vaguest memory of her, and I have an excellent memory for most things. 3 years ago, a stepmother was presented to us. We were surprised. She is a famous artist's model who claims to have been christened Topaz. Even if this is true, there is no law to make a woman stick to a name like that. She is very beautiful, with masses of hair, so fair that it is almost white, and a quite extraordinary pallor. There are 2 paintings of her in the Tate Gallery, one by McMorris called Topaz and Jade, in which she wears a magnificent jade necklace, and one by H.J. Allady, which shows her nude on an old horsehair-covered sofa that she says was very prickly. She has a very deep voice. That is, she puts one on. It is part of an arty pose, which includes painting and lute playing. But her kindness is perfectly genuine, and so is her cooking. I am very, very fond of her. It is nice to have written that just as she appears on the kitchen stairs. She is wearing her ancient orange tea gown. She paused on the top step and said, "Ah, girls," with 3 velvety inflections on each word. Now she is sitting on the steel trivet raking the fire. She is 29 and had 2 husbands before father, but she still looks extraordinarily young. Now Rose is sitting on the fender, waiting for her iron to heat. She is staring at Topaz with a discontented expression. Oh dear, there has just been a slight scene. Rose asked Topaz to go to London and earn some money. Topaz replied that she didn't think it was worthwhile because it cost so much to live there. "And 2 of the men I work for are abroad," she went on, "and I don't like working for McMorris."